Good morning, good morning. Now my dogs are rambunctious today. I will let you know they're going to make a lot of noise because this is their playtime when they get up and out. So, I'm going to prove a few things because I always show proof and receipts, which Cassandra lies about people consistently and never shows any receipts. That's part of the problem. She tells her people and they automatically believe. And then she goes around and she says, but I'm not going to tell you their channel because I'm not going to, let them get views. It's because she doesn't want you to go there and get the proof of what she said is a lie. The other day I posted a video showing that she sent Department of Elderly Services to my home. I am fully capable of driving. Everybody knows this. I get grocery services to deliver my groceries to the house. They deliver my groceries. If not, I have 2 men that live in my home, and they don't abuse me like she told them they abuse me. She said, but you know what? I did that because Yvonne caused me to lose my home. Bullshit. I never caused any of that shit to her. And she didn't do it because she was worried about me because I called her apartment people. No, that never happened. When I exposed her for what she did to me, because all week long before these people came, she was on every morning saying, I called somebody that has to come make you feel uncomfortable. I called somebody that has to come to your home and has to, reply to you and has to come to your home and make you feel terrible about yourself. Because she's afraid of these people and she hates these people. But it was nothing for me. Thank God I didn't have an elderly person living in my home where they would have to take them out of my home and investigate it, okay? Thank God I didn't have an elderly person in my home. But because I don't show everything that goes on in my home, she didn't know I didn't have somebody's elderly grandparent or parent in my home convalescing. She could have caused a huge problem for us without knowing so. So I'm going to prove the timeline here, okay? I'm proving this. And what happened? The date that she called elderly services to my home, and they came, if you look on that video I made just the other day, the date that they came to my home, there's the video with the card. If you look at the top of that video, you will see that date is May of 22. Okay? May of 22. She did not have problems with her apartment people until October of 22. And I'm going to prove that. And she had been saying I had been calling her apartment people, okay, that I had been calling them. You know how I can prove my contact with them? I didn't call them. I emailed them. Because she had been saying I was calling them, and that's the only people I could prove that I had not been calling. Because if somebody calls wildlife, or if somebody were to call, she said I called the health department and put in an anonymous, but she knew it was me. And all these other calls she said I did to her. I never called any of these people, okay? The only people at that point that I had ever contacted was the police department, and that was in the very beginning to find out if this crazy woman was a danger to my life. Because I didn't know who she was. I had no clue who this crazy chick was. And she said I had been bothering her since 2015, and I had never known even who she was until she got that tortoise. Never had a clue who this woman was. It was after that I had to find out things about her. I had no freaking clue how batshit crazy she was and if she was a danger to my life. So that's why the police were contacted. Hey, this woman lives there. How crazy is she? I found out somebody else had to get the police involved to get her to leave them alone. And I found out that's the only way she left them alone, that she's a stalker, crazy woman. How do I get her to leave me alone? I have never done anything to this woman. Never did anything to her. And she keeps blaming me for being this other person that I'm not at the time, Maddie. I've never been a Maddie account, never been this other entity that she was blaming me of being. And you'll see another part of this on that. I've never called anybody on her. I've never harassed her. I've never emailed Cassandra. I've never threatened to poison her service dog. I've never threatened to kill her. She has done things to me in real life, not the other way around. She keeps saying to people that I've done shit to her. I've never done anything to her. She has called the police and told them I was on my way to kill her when I was just going away for the weekend with my husband. Just because I stopped at a gas station an hour from my home? She's batshit crazy. She is batshit crazy. And I think she does it for the views and attention. Come. And she's nuts. And I think she does it for attention. She's admitted she's lonely. So here's the proof. Her latest lie. You know, at first she said she did it because I called wildlife on her for having rabbits. And I proved that was false because I didn't know that she had the rabbits until the rabbits were out of her house. How did I call wildlife to come get rabbits I didn't know she had in her house? And the guy that showed up to her house went out to her back deck and didn't say anything about rabbits because she was live when he got there. I think it was about feeding the animals that she was told not to feed, because it brings the coyotes and stuff up there. And she was having a problem with her upstairs neighbor. Stop. Y'all go. Here, play with this. Eli. So anyway, I'm sorry. They're being very noisy. They're out for their morning. And he's being a knothead playing with her. She's got a stick teasing him. So anyway, here's the proof that I wrote an email asking for their call log proof that if anybody called the apartment manager on Cassandra, that it was not me. Because if anybody calls an apartment complex, calls the manager, they're going to know who called. They're not going to take just some rando's number without finding out who, or if I had talked to them. They can write me a letter and state I did not talk to them, that I did not call them, that I had not talked to them. And that's what I wanted, because at that time, my attorney was doing a cease and desist. I have one on her, and at that time is when it was being prepared. So she found out about the cease and desist and ran to go get one. Oh, I got a cease and desist on Yvonne. I was already preparing mine. That's why the apartment complex was contacted by email, not any phone calls, to get proof that I had never contacted them by phone, that I never caused any of her problems. I was gathering intel to prove it. Now, at the top of my video, you will see, what's that date? That's when she called the Department of Elderly Services to come to my home. That's the date. She called them early May to come out to my home, right? That's a refresher. Now, the email, let me find where I have the email. I got to figure out how to do this. I got to do this without showing the lady's last name, so that Cassandra can't say, oh, that's not the email to my manager. I'm covering her last name. What date is that? October 14th, 2022. That is to her manager at the complex. That is the email. That is when I contacted her manager. And then her manager called me to talk to me about the situation. That's when the manager overheard Cassandra in the background on my computer speakers, because I was cleaning my house, listening to Cassandra on the computer, talking about the manager and how she wasn't going to pay the fine she was given for the flood. And that's when I said, yeah, this is the situation. And yes, I'm having problems with Cassandra in real life going after me and doing bad things to me. In real life, she has called Elderly Protection Services to me. Her and Ariana and all her friends have gone over to that blacklist site in the service dog world where she says she gets blacklisted. And they went over there and told them I was a pedophile, which is in the lawyer's papers. All the proof was given to him. He has proof. He's not going to put that stuff in that paperwork unless he has proof. And I can show that. I can show the proof. As usual, I have all the proof. She went over to that service dog website and told them that I needed to be dealt with because I was a pedophile and a danger to my area. And told them what my dog looked like. My photo must have been shown, my dog's photo. Because next time I went to a Repticon, I was followed around. And when I was in the restroom, someone approached my husband who was holding my service dog. And they said, oh, I recognize that dog. Where's your wife? I was being followed around in person. I had cars parking across the street from my house. My home address was doxed online. I have never done any of this kind of shit to Cassandra, no matter what she has done to me. I have never done any of these things to this woman. She is sick in the head. I understand she is sick in the head. I don't do these kinds of things to people. I don't do these behaviors to people. I have never sought to have anything done to her. All I said was she belongs in a group home. She needs supervision because this is the kind of stuff she did to me. That's why I said she needs to be in a group home. I didn't say I want to see her homeless on the streets. But that's how she twisted it and said things to people to get them to go after me. She doesn't tell the truth about anything. Okay? Then she went to this nutso after somebody messaged me on an account that I don't know who they were and said, hey, this guy in California is the real Maddie. He's just playing that he's not. This guy's a real nutso. I mean, he's scary. I'm glad I don't live on the West Coast. He can't leave the state of California. So, I'm not worried about him. I'm not scared about him. And I'm going to warn you. in a little bit, I'm going to play a little bit of a video that just came out yesterday to show you just how violent and crazy he is. And if you can't handle that, do not watch that part of my video. But here is another thing that she did, because he later told me that it was Cassandra behind this, and Cassandra had been going, anytime she does something that's malicious and mean, she gets on her channel and lets you know, just like when she was sending elderly services to my home. She gets on her channel and brags that it's coming, that it is coming, so you know it's from her, because she wants you to know it's coming. She has a mean streak that is just malicious and mean. She wants you to know that a present is coming from her. So when he contacted me, I knew who was behind it. So she contacted this Dr. Canis, who has multiple channels. And I'm not going to say his real name on here. And it's this pothead mental guy out in California that's really nuts. He contacted me. I just went in my thing and screenshotted the conversation. I have him, he was blocked on this. So I went in there and I screenshotted this for you today. I had kept it. He doxed me with my home address and everything on my Instagram and said I was told this, this, and this, and this. And it was all the stuff that Cassandra tells everybody. And she has given my info out as Maddie multiple times. Multiple times. And this is the same conversation that we had, that we always have about it. And, you know, he went about telling me the same thing. And, you know, they notified Cassie with paperwork and everything else. And I'm trying to tell him no. And then she went on there and told him also that I do she calls it Schlitzhund. You know, that I do bite work with my dogs and everything else. And he's very anti that and everything, which he had a fake service dog, and that's part of his problem. He also was bad with dogs, so they took his dog away, and they made it so he could never own another dog because he was mentally messed up, and he was beating the dogs, and he was using them for panhandling. So, you know, I told him, I'm not Maddie. I'm not doing anything to Cassandra. I'm going through cancer. I'm not even online. This is when I was going through my cancer treatment, and I wasn't even online. I wasn't thinking about Cassandra. I wasn't doing anything to Cassandra. I wasn't even online. But I could still hear her online going after me, even though I wasn't even online. You know, she plays her little games, and she wants to do stuff, you know. And this Colton guy is a real crazy. I mean, he has almost killed people. He's hit them upside the head with bats and everything else just because he didn't like their political affiliations and stuff like that. I mean, he's crazy. And everything else. So this was April that this happened. April 4th. That he did this. And, you know, I said, look, I'm not Maddie. Leave me alone. I haven't done anything she says I'm doing. I don't have a vicious shepherd biting people. She tells everybody that my German shepherds have bitten people. Not true. Never happened. She tells people that my service German shepherd attacked a child and bit a child. Never happened. And coincidentally, whoever the Maddie person is said that about her dog. And also, she said that about Maddie's dog, I think. plus whoever she was talking to, Service Dog Doberman, who I believe is the Maddie person, is on that call-out group all the time, and they play games back and forth. And so anyway, this is his last response. That's nothing. I have never trolled anyone or a single account. I think you are a bully that got snitched on. I say the same thing to everyone. Go to the police. Come forward about everything. If I go postal, they will find all of you. I sat the info for years. Do what is right and come clean, or else blood is on your hands. I have suffered like you could not understand. Death to trolls. That's what this crazy man wrote to me. Based on what Cassandra says, that is what this crazy man wrote to me because of Cassandra. Thank God he can't leave the West Coast. Thank God. Now I'm going to play to you what he posted.
Hello, who's this? Hey, why don't you get up and get a job today?
Oh, no, that's not the one. I hope he hasn't erased it in the time that it took me to do this.
It's Mr. Wood, you already have it. I want one of those links, one of those email links to fucking send evidence to the Stockton PD, and I want it now so we can make sure these swastikas and iron crosses and death threats, and we're gonna burn you and we're gonna swat you. They said they're gonna swat me before I ever made a call today. So no matter what I say, the swatting was coming. It's on the way. They're gonna swat me just like they did when they fucking took my home and everything I own. I want one of those links and I want it the fuck now. What's your name? What's your ID number?
Okay. I'll give officers know so you can get that link, okay?
Oh, no, let them know. Give me your ID number, and then if the link don't show up, I'll kill children in your name. That's how it works. What's your ID number? What's your ID number? What is your ID number, you fucking pussy faggot Nazi? You're protecting your fellow Nazis. You're protecting your fellow Nazis. You're refusing to fucking do shit about your fellow fucking Nazis. That's what this is. CW nigger sucker faggot pedos fighting back and you don't like it because you're a Nazi. What's your ID, Nazi? What's your ID, Nazi? What's your ID, Nazi? You're not gonna ID, Nazi? You're not gonna ID, Nazi? Then children will die for every dispatch officer on Stockton PD to make sure I get the right one, you fucking Nazi!
This is the type of people Cassandra has sent after me in real life. And then she makes fun of me when I'm upset and feel like I need to put up my security cameras and let everyone know that I am not defenseless. This is what she's doing to me in real life. Real life, off of here. On a regular basis for years. How would you be if someone was doing these things to you? How would you be if someone was doing these things to your beloved family member? I think I've acted pretty well under the circumstances. Bye.